took some portraits this year at the fantastic Latitude Festival. There's a video I made of that. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll put a link at the end of this film. Now then, how did I edit the pictures? All taken on an iPhone. This is how I did it. I was walking along at the festival and saw this person just sitting there, and they got this dress look, and we just managed to get it all around. First up, let's hit the clone tool and get rid of that bottle. Hit the option, quickly paint that out. There's a hand, paint that out. Okay, right, let's go black and white. Already I'm starting to see a nice picture emerging here. And there's a lot of people that would say, you know, this is colourful, so we need to keep the colour, but I just can't help thinking that there's something really nice about taking that super high look, bringing the blacks in. I do like that, so let's see what we can do. Just bring in that grass a little bit there around the top. Select, modify feather, yarn levels, and I'm just going to ease that down slightly. And just to finish off, I'm going to take the burning in tool and I'm going to go around that dress there and just put some shadow detail in around the face. And there we go, that's the first portrait. I really like that. That's a really unusual shot, isn't it? I like that. Let's see what we've got next. Is one of the stewards that were helping people find their right directions and that. He's a really nice guy, and I said, can I take a portrait? And he was again only too pleased. What cool people go to Latitude. Okay, let's get on and edit the picture. 16:9 this has got to be. I love the fact that he's laughing at somebody just off camera there, or laughing with somebody just off camera. Let's bring this in a little bit over here because there's a bit too much space on that side. Loving that there. Okay, this guy over here, do you know what? Carrying the child there, I like that, but I kind of like the idea that he's moving along, so I'm going to help him with a little bit of motion blur. Modify and feather that, and filter, blur, motion blur. And let's put the blur sideways on. There we go. I like that look. He's moving through, and actually we can't see the child either. That's good from my perspective. So let's go black and white, and let's start. You know how I like to do it. I like it nice and contrasty. You know, with the editing in JPEGs here, there are some limitations with the iPhone, and most of the time you get away with it. On this one, I'm struggling a little bit more. Look, select, modify, feather. Let's take that down. That's better. And we're going to have to go gently now. So we'll put the shadow from his wig on. We'll start building those shadows in there. I'm just going to give him a little bit of leeway there. Just see what it looks like if I just select inverse, modify and feather 120, Gaussian blur onto filter, Gaussian blur. Just a little bit, because I want those people there, but I don't want them to dominate the picture. There we go. And now we can't really see anybody too much, and he's looking good fun, isn't he? Let's just lighten his eyes up a little bit, just in there. A little bit more action on your eyes and your teeth and your lips and your beard. Going on there. Excellent. Let's put a few more highlights on the wig. And now let's just take the exposure down a little bit. That's better. Background's a little bit dark. I'm just going to get the dodge tool and just go around there and just put put a little bit of light into that background so it's not too dark, particularly on the trees. And then I think we'll get the burn tool and just ease this foreground, which is bleaching out a little bit. It was very dry, the grass. And just put a little bit around here. And lovely, and a bit on this side too. Match it up. That's better. That's a nice balanced picture now. Like that. I think he's got a bug on his face. Oh dear, sorry about that. Let's just take that off. Little bug there, look. There. I like it. Pop a white border on, and that's our finished image. I like that one too. So on to the next one. Portrait. I love this one too. Do you know what? They were walking down towards me. I was walking back for a little beer, just to enjoy the sunshine, you understand. And I came across these two walking towards me. They were just so lovely and so nice. And I said, "Can I take your picture?" And they were over the moon to have a picture taken, which is great. You only get that at a festival. And so we did some pictures. I'm just looking. Look, I could crop this, really close in. Let's get rid of that 16:9. Let's clear the ratio. I could crop this in here, look, really closely. And just have it as those two there. And I think that's what a lot of people would do. But it's a festival, and these are social documentary. Look at this guy here on the phone. All these beautiful, glamorous ladies here in all this colour, and he's just on his phone. He doesn't know, and somebody's walking past, and somebody's coming through behind. Now, yet again, we're going to have to keep this pretty much whole as it is. I think to balance him up, we'll come in a little bit at the bottom, and maybe we'll come in a little bit there. How is that? That is super cool. Actually, we'll get rid of her cigarette. There we go. That's a lovely picture. Let's pop up the colour on that with just a little bit of, this is not a great iPhone for pictures. The lenses on modern iPhones are so much better. This is an 8. It's okay, but it's a little bit flat. But once you just ping that picture up just a little bit, just bring the blacks in just a little bit, look, it's there, isn't it? It is there. It's just the lens is just a little flat. Let's pop a little bit more colour in. Saturate it up. Let's go full Technicolor. And there you go, white border on, and I'm really pleased with that. They're such nice characters, and I just like that as it is. We didn't have to do too much editing. On to the next. And these two ladies just looked so fantastic. Don't they look brilliant? Absolutely brilliant. I went over and asked if I could take a portrait, and they're so nice to me. And they said, yeah, no problem at all. And here it is. So let's just recrop it in and see what this looks like. I'm just going to crop that chair out there. And I'm just going to crop that side out there. Already, let's see what it looks like as an absolute square. So as a square it looks like that, but we can maybe see, I like that finger on there, but I like the tattoos. So no, I'm not going to make it square. I'm not going to make it square because I would lose some of the tattoo here, or the finger around the drink, and I think both of those I want in. So let's just punch this colour. This was taken on an iPhone 8, not particularly expensive iPhone, not the best camera in the world, but it's the camera that I had with me, and I know it's cliched, but the best camera is the one you have with you, isn't it? And let's just bring these colours down. Let's punch them up a little bit, bring these blacks in. There we go. It's looking nice, isn't it? And I want it to have that, look at that sort of, they've got that kind of 70s style pattern behind them. So I want it to have, can you see how up here we could make this black? We could just take that right the way to black, but I don't want that because I want it to have that kind of 70s vibe to it, so the colours aren't too punchy. What I am going to do though is brighten her eyes, because they were underneath like a canopy, which means because the light's coming straight down, they've got a little bit of sort of a panda eye going on. So I'm just going to, and what I mean by that is your eye sockets go darker when the light comes straight down. So if you do things in the middle of the day and the light's coming straight down, you do get their dark sockets. And so I'm just adding a little bit of light back into those. In fact, I've added too much now, look, so I'm going to take that back there. That's lovely. Loving that. And it really, I can see the colours as well on my makeup. Look, oh yeah, that's great. Do you know, I'm not going to do an awful lot more to this. Let's see what it looks like if we punch the saturation up a little. Sort of 70s Technicolor. Yeah, I'm loving that. I just think I've got perhaps a little bit too much that side. Bring it in to there. Oh yeah, I'm liking that picture. That's so nice. Thank you, ladies, for letting me take that picture. I really, really am grateful. I love that picture. That might be my favourite picture of the weekend. I hope you like it. I couldn't help noticing there's just something about this guy that just says, oh, he's really interesting, and let's take a picture of him. So I asked him for a portrait. He said yes, and here we go. Let's start. It's got to be black and white. So first things first, let's convert black and white. I want this bin out. I don't like this bin in here. I don't think it needs to be particularly 16 by 9. I'm going to keep all the bunting in. I'm going to keep all that nice jazzy top in. I like the fact that these have just got their bags down here, look, and they're just talking. That's nice, like that. Obviously, now we've got some discrepancy here. I'm not sure what's going on, or whether he's been out in the sun, because we've got one tone here on the face, but a different tone on the arm here, but we can soon fix that. Let's bring this back in around there, and select modify feather about 50. Yeah, okay, let's bring those up, take that in. That's more like it. How much do we want to go? There, that's about matched in, isn't it now? I'm going to put a little bit more life into the eye area there. Bring that down a little bit. I want to work on this sky, so I'm going to magic wand it. Let's get the magic wand on that. Select, modify, feather. Okay, so we're bringing that in a little bit there. And of course, because we've done that, we want to take this complete background here out of focus. Because the iPhone just does not give us enough definition, does it? And feather, 120, filter, blur. Okay, so that background's running out of focus a little bit now. Want it into about the top of that tree. How much of that do we want in? Probably just to his arm. We're getting there. We're getting there, everyone. Let's do some burning in on this skin here. And this grass around here, look, it's too light. Let's get some feeling going on. Too light. That's better. Going to put a little bit of lighting around him now. Harden that up a little bit. Harden that. Shadows in there. There we go. Nearly there. Nearly there, everyone. Bring him down slightly. There. And that's our picture. I like it, like it. That area I was talking about before, and in fact you can just see these ladies here. We did a nice portrait of those, a really nice portrait of those, one of my favourites. But these guys were helpful too. They were operating the reception down here, and look, it's a lovely portrait. I think I'm going to make it 16:9, and I think I'm going to try and highlight all this colour going on in the backgrounds. So let's have a look. 16:9. This guy's in the shade a little bit, so let's see if we can't pull a bit of light onto him. Now I don't want it to be exactly what I'm looking for at the moment, because I've got to pull the rest. I've got to pull the blacks in and the rest. So now we've got him highlighted. Select inverse, pull the blacks in on the rest. Look, there we go, we're more balanced now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go across these, choose the tree as well, around and round we go. Where we stop, no one knows. Is that Rick Astley there? Well, Rick Astley, what's that? The festival. Looks a bit like him, doesn't it? Was it Mark Commode? Select, modify, feather. Bring those colours in. Look at that, they're jumping out now, jumping Jehoshaphat. Look at those. Okay, so I think this area here is just a bit too dominant. So modify feather. And let's just take it down slightly. There, and in here too. Because I want to pull the viewer's attention into the picture, into these really interesting guys here. Now again, light coming through the trees, which means we've got this bit of a panda eye effect going on here. Look, can you see that there? And so I'm going to just grab those eyes, select, modify, feather. We're only on about 10 pixels. And we'll put the levels up. Now let's have a look if we can just lift them, you see? There. That's better, isn't it? Ah, that's a nice shot. I'm liking that shot. I'm liking it. Likey. Is it straight? I'm just thinking, would it look better like that? No, it wouldn't, would it? Because he's leaning forwards, isn't he? You can tell by the background. Do I need to bring that over a little? And that up just a little? I think I do, and I think that's my finished picture. I like that. maybe a tad over. Yeah, like it. Let's get a white background on it and move on. Now here's another portrait. This woman came over and asked us to sign Oxfam's petition about the climate crisis. We were only too pleased to. In fact, we'd already signed it. I was pleased to have the tattoo, the Greener Fairer Future Now tattoo, which if you could see on any of the pictures, I popped on my neck because I wanted everybody to see how important acting now on the climate crisis is. And thanks for Oxfam for bringing that to everybody's attention at the festival. Now let's do this portrait. I asked if I could take a picture and she said yes, so that's great. I'm going to make this black and white. I want a nice gritty picture here. Let's have a look how it's looking in terms of, does it want to be 16:9? Let's see. Let's pop that on there, over to there, bring it down a little, because we need the Greener Fairer Future Now and the act now. That's the picture I'm looking for. It's a 16:9. Okay, and those areas that are slightly light, I'm just going to bring them down a little bit. Oops, cancel that, inverse. I was working on the wrong area. That's it. That's the area I want to work on, and I want to bring those down. I want to flatten them off a great deal. So now we've got this area here is shining out as the area we want to focus on, not the background. I'm going to cut this lady out at the front, modify feather, and just take that up slightly. Bring those blacks down. I'm going to add a little bit of shading to some of these areas here at the bottom, so that we've got a little bit more my tones going on. And as you can see, this is in a densely wooded area, and so I'll bring those shadows in there. You can see all the people over here, look, on the settees in the middle of the forest watching. So I'll bring some contrast in by upping the highlight on these leaves here and these silver birch. Happy with that one. Let's just put a white background on. Move on. I couldn't help noticing this guy sitting opposite me. He looks so cool with that fantastic beard. He's an Oxfam volunteer. Good for you, fella. Good for you. And I just wanted to take a portrait. He said okay. He didn't mind. So here's a picture. Let's see what we can do with him. Now, often I'd work on this sky here, but I just love how the sky's going down, the sun's going down, look, and it's all going a little bit light and hazy. So I'm not going to overwork that. I'm probably not going to do too much to this. I do think I probably need to take a few things out of the shot a little bit. So I think what I will do is just a little tiny bit there. I'm just going to go around him. And then select inverse, select modify feather, I want 20, and I'm just going to get my filter blur, Gaussian blur. Woohoo, not that much, brother. Okay, so that's all I probably need, just to knock everything just down a little bit and bring our subject into focus. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's see if we need to bring just a little bit. That's it, blacks in just a little bit, make it pink, and there's a little, is that a lens flare or plaster? I'm not sure, but we'll heal you there if it's a plaster, and we'll take the lens flare off if it isn't. Let's just see if we can't just shift this, shift this up here, just to the bottom of that maybe. And then we'll take a little bit of a sky out. We don't need This twig here, it does look like he's an antennae, doesn't it? And that is slightly annoying. So it is going to have to go. Guys, I know we don't like to do too much Photoshop work on these more documentary style images, but you know, it did look like it was growing out of his head. And that's a nice picture. I'm not going to do any more than that. I like it. Let's get the white background on. Enjoying a beer in the sunshine when these two guys came past, and don't they look cool? Love it. Look at the hair, man. That is so cool. So, asked them for a portrait. They were carrying their beers carefully through the crowds, all 8 of them. So I'm sure it was for friends, you know. So here we go. This isn't going to be 16:9, so let's get rid of that. We don't want that clear. And nice sunny day, getting the beers, surrounded by people. Look at that. Oh, right. Let's put a bit of colour. I like all the colour going on in this, actually. Let's obviously you've got a wide brimmed hat. You've got that lovely hair look. Select, modify, and feather. Let's see if we can bring you up a little bit there. Same with this guy here. Select, modify, feather. Okay, right. There we go. So straight away we can see that picture's looking better. You know, as a social documentary picture, this isn't going to need too much more. I think we'll take that around there. Select inverse, select, modify, feather that. Just help us coming into the shot. Okay, what else do we need to do to this? Not much really. I think probably a little bit on that side. Feather it and take it down again. There. Because what we're actually trying to do is draw the attention to these. Okay, go in our levels. It's a nice shot. I'm going to do a little individual work now, so I would just use the dodge tool and just bring some highlights onto this guy just here. Look. Particularly that hair. Look at that. Golden mane, that is. The main man, for sure. Yeah, I like that. It's just a little bit overpowering. I'm just going to use the burn tool to just turn it back slightly. Look. There. Bit on that side for him. Have I ever done it on the turning back? No, I don't believe I had. Just need to bring that side back in where the highlight is. Look, I like that. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to really do anything more to that. I like the fact that there's people moving around, milling around. Let's just have a look what it looks like. Let's just put a Gaussian blur on some of those people. See what happens. Select inverse, select modify feather, filter blur. It's just what motion blur is doing, because I just want that feeling of movement. There, that's better. That's the feeling I wanted. everything going on around them, and just them there coming through the crowd. I love it. Thank you guys for posing for that picture. We got there in the end. And that's how I edited the images from the Latitude Festival visit this year. Absolutely fantastic time. We had the I did do a video of taking these images. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up here right now, so you can go and check that film out.